after that ball with Reyes there. What's going through your mind in that moment, especially you getting on the end of that as you watch a play like that develop?
Yeah, I mean, down to or up 2-1 is just like one of the worst leads in soccer, especially against a strong team like Portland. And so seeing Temwa, challenge and win that header over Reyes was like we gotta get going, get up with her, because again, you never know what's going to come out of the play, and just keeping up with Temwa was hard and ran my hardest, and I was lucky to get on the end of it.
I think when you see the effort from players like that, what is that kind of? How much does that motivate you guys on the field?
I mean, across the board, like the team sets the tone coming in, like when you start the game, and so it makes it that much, it's that much more of a responsibility for players like myself coming off the bench to match that intensity. Not only match it, but just like try to bring it to the next level, because they've been out there, it's hot as hell out there, and so to come in and just do everything that you can to at least disrupt some play and run and work hard. If the ball drops to you, it drops to you, and you can capitalize on your chances, but the one thing that you can control is your effort. So they make it pretty easy for us coming into games.
You seem to have kind of forged a pretty good connection there with Temwa. What's it like playing with her, and for you, and how'd you kind of see that play unfold where you slipped that pass into her for the goal?
Yeah, I mean, she's someone who's going to put in the work no matter what, as you can see from that last play. But with her, it's just kind of like reading what's open. I can slip it behind and she'll get there. Honestly, shout out to Coop for screaming Temwa, because she screamed that, and I look and I'm like, oh, wait, she's open. So just slipping it in the gap and knowing, like, I trust that she'll put it in the back of the net.
PJ, KC Star. Croy, for you, I know that they have you kind of just moving wherever you want. Just wanted to ask, how's the balance of playing out wide versus when you come in and control the middle?
Yeah, I mean, coming into the middle, it allows me to be free-flowing and just play comfortably, and just finding the spaces, whether that's dropping low, dropping wide, getting it inside. And I like that they've trusted me and, like, giving me that ability to just kind of flow with the game.
For you, Haley, for you, I know you're kind of used to scoring goals. I just wanted to see if
Yes, she is.
For a little bit. I wanted to see if the role you're in now is the role that you're used to, or if there's something that you're still adjusting to.
Yeah, I mean, any chance to kind of get on the field wherever they need you is where, I want to play. And so I like playing in the middle of the field. It's comfortable, and getting in front of goal, especially when, it's honestly, you plug in any player anywhere on the field, and it's just an incredible support system, around. And so, coming in, taking care of the ball, doing everything I can to hold on to the ball and relieve some pressure, I feel like is important for that position, which has been a big work on for me and will continue to be a work on for me. So, yeah, just coming in and doing what I need to do especially closing out a game like that.
And then I know Sophia, so she scores that first one. But just what was the reaction like, coming back from that, and then in the locker room at halftime? Just what was the discussion there?
Yeah, I feel like that goal didn't necessarily scare us or bring us down. I mean, we started off very hot, had a lot of chances. Okay, they got one opportunity, put it in the back of net, cool. We still had, 70 minutes to play, and I feel like our energy was still high. We were still working very hard. We've been in this position before. There's a lot of game left. So we knew we were going to get one, and when we get one, we're going to get another one, and we're going to get another one. So honestly, a lot of positive energy and just telling ourselves, continue to work, and it'll come.
Yeah, no, same with it. And I just want to shout out Lo, too. Coming off of, a tough LA game, she is, the heartbeat of this team and shows up in big moments. And so to be able to get that goal before halftime heading in, we knew it was going to come, but, for it to be her just was a different kind of energy and wave that we needed heading into the locker room. And we were really comfortable and confident on the ball. And again, it's great. It's always a great opportunity to be able to, especially at home, to climb our way out of, of a deficit, because it doesn't really happen often, but I think it's a true testament to the grit of the team, and also the fans uplifting us. It's just is a whole game changer for us.
Chad Smith, KC Soccer Journal. Croy, this first one's for you. So you talked about you get the first goal and you feel like you guys are in it. Is there ever a moment where your head dips at all, because there's just so many chances where it didn't quite come off, that last pass, that last run, whatever, that last touch? How do you guys stay motivated?
No, I wouldn't say our heads go down, because that's a lack of confidence, that's a lack of belief. And with this team, we had the most confidence. Getting, like you said, getting that one goal 1-1, like, okay, this is a fresh start, 0-0 at the second half. And I feel like we have so many threats. And shout out to our defense for holding it down. Okay, one goal, cool. But after that, we all locked in and refocused. And we scored those 2 other goals in a completely different way than the first opportunity. So one goal isn't the end of the world. 2 goals isn't either. It's how you bounce back from that hit.
And then Haley, for you, a couple games ago, you come in, you immediately get an assist. Today, you come in, and you pretty much immediately get a goal. Do you whisper in Chris's ear saying, "Hey, start me"?
Hell no, I don't. And that's honestly, that's like never, I don't talk like that. I don't think like that. I don't think anybody on this team thinks like that. Like, when you're called upon, you have to trust your preparation. And in this environment, we have the most competitive, team there is around. And so every single person that steps on the field is prepared for that moment because of the way that we train and like building those small habits over and over. And wherever my team needs me, if it's on the field, if it's on the bench cheering on, like I'm happy to embrace that role and be just a part of this team.
Tom Bursley, Shea Butter FC. For the both of you, this is the second time that you played the reverse fixture of a match that you didn't get the result on the road that you wanted to. What was kind of the feeling in the locker room knowing that you're having the same opponent? Was there it seemed like the Chicago match at home, there was a definite we want to get our lick back. Was that kind of the same mentality for this match as well?
It's just it's another game at home, and so when we know that we have so much momentum with this home stadium and our home crowd, it is such an advantage. And so every time we step into this we know it's we have the energy behind us, and it's not necessarily get a lick back, but just get back to what we need to do and not necessarily know what we're capable of. And again, being able to be back at home for it is pretty great and definitely helpful for us. But I don't know, it's just kind of getting back into the normal routine of things for us.
Want that get back. I like that get back.
One more time.
Always want the get back.
Thank you so much. Also, one thing is, I know sometimes when y'all get on the break, I see Armas sometimes having to slow you down. Just what is that like? Just when does he decide that, or when do you see that, and just the maneuvering?
Yeah, I mean, it's different when you're on the field versus when you're watching the game, because sometimes you don't see the momentum just getting out of hand, or like you said, getting too fast in a sense. And when he kind of senses that, he wants us to stay calm but keep the energy high. And he can kind of read that. Being our coach, like I said, it's a different point of view. So just kind of giving us another eye of the game and how we can still stay in control but be a little bit more calm.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. We'll have Coach Chris Armas here shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Anyone on the Zoom, please use the raise your hand function and we'll get to your questions virtually. Everyone in the room, please say your name and your outlet before your question. Head coach Chris Armas, congrats on the win. We'll open with you.
Yeah, big 3 points for our team. Fans showed up once again. Another victory in this building where the players, I think, get a lot of credit to the way they stepped on the pitch, but it's always that what comes first, them igniting the crowd or the crowd getting behind them. It's just this great coming together, which I think that's 9 in a row for this club in this building, which is a record in this league. So, yeah, great 3 points against a team we're chasing. They're in first place. We knew it was going to be a tough game, and I think the players were on it. I think it's great to win, but even, again, to come from behind shows a lot of what this team is about. We're gritty, and we can win in different ways. And, if I had to pick out one specific thing before the questions, it's Lola Banta. Still, for me, when you talk about this team playing with that bite and grit and quality and resilience, energy, intensity, that was her today. And that's been her, I think, a few games in a row where I think she's been great. But then for her to drive the team where, 3 games in X amount of days, them feeding off of her leading the charge, and then she gets a goal, so an important one. So really proud of her.
Daniel Sperry, KC Star. You mentioned Lo there, but maybe just her leadership, how, especially helping keep the team maybe calm on the field in moments, especially when you go down in that game. Just what has she been, not just her performance on the field, but kind of in that leader, both spiritually and maybe vocally within the group?
Well, she's as real as they come from just a human being standpoint. She says what it is. She says what's on her mind, and she doesn't let things slip in that locker room. And as a coach, we try to see in this job, how long does it take where the players don't need me anymore? Because they can take it over on the inside, and that's not easy. It doesn't always happen even. But when you have a few players like her, and it's rare, that they can help take things over on the inside. So it's easy for everyone to see what she does out there because she's a great player and she drives this ship. But when the cameras are off and no one's watching, on the inside, she really has gained the respect of everyone on that team, and she sets the standard by the way she shows up every day and pushes the standards.
I wanted to ask about that moment at the end of the game. Temoa, the ball's kind of up in the air, and she charges down, chases it down, wins it, and goes and sets up the goal. She hasn't even gone 90 minutes yet until today. Just what did that moment kind of say about her, and also just kind of the way that this team has that mentality around it?
Well, when you talk about the very best players in the world, and she's in that class, so many things can be talked about. But we know she's the competitor, talent, speed. She's got technique. There's not much she can't do, but her will to win puts her in this upper tier. And then what I think puts her in not a class by herself, but this really special class is this humility and running for the team and putting the team first. So that by the end of that play, to see her in this golden boot race where her teammates say, no, you are in that race, that she shares the ball and upgrades the shot and gives it to her teammate, I think says it all about who we have here.
And then, obviously, going down isn't something you guys want, but you mentioned it a little bit, just the response from the team. It didn't seem kind of shaken at all by that early goal from Sofia.
Yeah. It always has some effect on you as a player and a human being, but our team is tough physically and mentally. You see that we have the process, we stay to it, we've been down before, they've been there before, and we talk a lot about when you step in the ring, you got to be willing to take some shots, but you got to step in the ring with us, and now you got to be willing to take some shots too. So we know that winning and losing comes with it, and scoring and conceding comes with it. But again, I don't want to concede at all, but if I had to concede and if to have the response and then to win, at times. I'd like it that way because it just shows that it's important that you can go down and come back.
PJ Green, KC Star. Y'all go down first. I see they start to kind of sit back there in three. And then in the second half, it seemed that y'all were much more dominant in the midfield, and then shut down Sophia. Just what did you see in terms of that aspect?
Well, listen, Sophia Wilson is one of the best players in our country. That's flat out. It's not really an opinion. She's on our national team, and you can see the world-class talent that she has. So every time you lose the ball, every time they play behind, every moment of transition comes from a throw-in. She's dangerous. She's a counter threat. She's quick, but more so, she's intelligent, and she's a handful. So to see the back line, the sixes, Kayla and Gabby, it was going to take a team effort. And we really put her in a tough game. And still, she finds her ways out of spots. But those games are important for our defenders because they come out a little bit better and taller when they feel like, you know what, I was in a tough game and I found ways to gain an edge. How can you gain the edge? We talk a lot about around here. And it was going to take, each player back there, Gabby, Caleb, being at their best. And together, we say 2 bodies, 1 mind. 2 bodies trying to deal with that, which I thought they both did great.
And then on the sideline there, I know a lot of the talk that you've instrumented on the team has been, keeping that pace, but also being steady with the patience. On the sideline, when to slow down, when to speed up. Just how do you determine which moments you want them to kind of keep the pace moving?
Well, we either have the ball or we don't have the ball. So when we don't have the ball, we're looking for moments. So it's we're looking for these. We have different pressing triggers, meaning moments that we know we're going to start the press. So that's the players understand that. I didn't have to give much. Between Ali and Croy, they really set the tone with that, meaning they didn't give Portland much time to build their attacks. They were jumping out of that mid-block. The other part is with the ball, because on these days, the grass dries quickly. Portland sitting in a tight mid-block, not really running at us. It's how can you unlock that block? If you run too much, you might get too tired. So we say the ball moves faster than everyone and never gets tired. Come on, let's move the ball. And we were trying to pick up the tempo with the ball while we're tired. They're organized. The grass is slowing things down a little bit. So just trying to help them. And I don't need my energy. They can have my energy. So they tell me sometimes, yeah, coach, we don't even hear you. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is just all nonsense. But I'm trying to help the tempo and the energy with the ball to try to unlock their block. So, and they did a great job. I don't know where our players find the energy. This was, for me, one of the best games we've played against the ball, forcing mistakes, counter-pressing, sustaining attacks. How often was Lola Bonta and Bailey jumping out of midfield, forcing the turnovers, the strikers doing the same, the back line jumping in front of Sophia, and they did it for, felt like 100 minutes.
Top person, Shea Butter FC. Congratulations on the 3 points, coach.
Thank you.
You talk a lot about your process as a club and making sure that the players are prepared. What do you think that it is in the process that allows the players to be confident that they know that they can come back from a deficit like they were facing today's game?
I think that the most important thing for athletes, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, professional athletes, is to create an environment that they feel comfortable and that they can make mistakes and they can ask questions. And there's standards, but there's also room there. They all want to be coached. But by every day, the way they show up I think I give a lot of credit to the people around me and the tone that we set every day, that they feel like here's a place that I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm being challenged, but I can be myself. And then that's the first part, because I don't think the X's and O's have a chance if you don't create an environment that has all of the things I just talked about. And then it's possible to coach the individual, to coach the tactics. and try to propose a style of play that they can deliver. And then it's the clarity, it's repetition, it's unit coaches, individual meetings, repetition on the training pitch, video, tomorrow, rep it, same thing. We win, lose, back to work. I've talked about that a lot. So now I've talked about 50 first dates. We don't have that around here. We go right back to it where our process is. That's our reference point. So at halftime, it's not, okay, here we go. It's right back to, come on, how are we doing with the to-do list items for the day? How are we doing with these things? And I think it's a very methodical, calm process, but I think the players thrive on the consistency and the clarity in the messaging, and a lot of coaches that I'm surrounded by that have a great way of delivering all of this.
And then we saw the players that came in later in the match almost have an immediate impact. Do you, like with Haley scoring that goal, Amelia White being dangerous, Wayne Rouse being stalwart in defense, do you think that process allows those players to come in and just get into the game speed almost?
I do think that all the players, giving them clarity gives them some comfort and an idea of what success looks like. But more so, the players that come into the match, I just think that they have, if we just give them individually credit, is they're talented and they're hungry, and we have the right people in that locker room that come to work every day to get better. They push each other. You know, it's E-ball and is sharpening because Gabby and Kayla are sharpening. And then there's Mila Brewer coming through with Kolo Suliafu pushing. That idea of iron sharpens iron. It happens around our club a lot, where we're saying, which front four today? Who should we start? It's getting these conversations happen because they're pushing each other. So then when the game comes, they are ready and they're sharp for lots of reasons. But I think the way the players push each other, the internal competition, it does a lot in preparing them for the moments off the bench.
Okay, we've got time for two more. We're going to go Jillian, and then Kathleen will wrap us up.
Coach, congrats. Thanks for the time. Jillian Carroll, Casey Kurt Radio. I was super impressed by the two decisions. Not that you need me to be impressed by what you do, but I was impressed by the Haley Hopkins for Ali Setnor. I love to see Haley with Shawinga and Cooper on her sides, but then also not choosing the flat back five, kind of going 4-3-3 in possession, pushing Ellie forward. Is that something that is specific to Ellie, or is that something kind of that you're just looking to finish out a match with, that different formation?
Okay, so let me try to get this right. Three things. One, Haley we know we're getting pushed back a little. They're committing numbers. On the front line, she has the aerial presence. We can play a little more direct, play off of her with some speed, and she's got the energy. And then we were thinking Allie could drop under for Croy, but Croy was still playmaking. So essentially, we could drop Allie, but then you're making two changes. So the Haley for Allie was just one for one. But yeah, I thought she did a great job, so thanks for that. Two, who would have known that your mother, who I just met, grew up on 260 First Street in Floral Park, New York, and I grew up, I have a house where my kids are 264th. Half of our town's in Queens, half in Long Island. Who would have known that, Julian? The last part is sometimes you can go into the back five if maybe if you sometimes just go automatic, you might take some pressure, and maybe that's okay. But we didn't feel like we were in that much trouble. I didn't want to take unnecessary pressure. They weren't throwing lots of crosses in where you think you need an extra center back. So oftentimes there's a reason for why I do what I do. I just thought, you know what? Let's bring in Lainey. She's going to help at the back. Put her back there. She's fresh legs. Ellie's been comfortable in front of her. At times, it can look like a back five if Ellie flattens out. But I didn't want it to go into a passive posture. Still, which is why we brought in Amelia. We were thinking about Katie Scott to come in as another central midfielder. But we thought, you know what? Let's bring a counter threat. Maybe we get another goal. And sometimes that's the best thing to do, is stay on the offensive, which I'm happy we got that last one. So we're going to continue to attack, but be mindful of how we defend low when teams are, throwing a lot of numbers forward. and just playing a little more free to try to challenge us. So we won't always get that right, but we'll try to do things for the right reasons. That we got that one right.
Kathleen, wrap us up.
Hey, Coach. Kathleen Geyer from the Nine Sports. I just wanted to go a little deeper on Hopkins. She scores the goal today. She's getting a lot of support from the fans, but what have you seen from her as she's kind of developed this season and taken on a little bit more of that scoring role?
Well, I'm a big fan of hers too. And because I'm a coach who wants to play with intensity and energy, verticality, hard to play against defensively, she checks a lot of those boxes. So we have great players up the pitch, and she keeps knocking on the door. Like, not really, but I know she wants to start and get even more minutes, and part of me wants to get her out there even longer. But yeah, look, we've worked a lot in and around goal with her. A lot about her finishing positions, but now when she's in those positions since January and February, inside the foot finishes, slowing down. We say 100 to 70, just downshift a little bit. Is it take a touch, take a breath, inside the foot, sometimes half a swing, and I've seen her. There's some preseason footage that I showed the team a few weeks ago, and some of it was her in and around goal. These finishes, just calm and confident. And just repetition. So she gets the credit because she puts herself in all of those positions. She's tactically smart. And now I think the technical part, just slowing down a little, getting in those spaces where goals are scored, closer to goal, central, and then she's doing the rest. So she's such a wonderful attitude. She comes every day and fights and pushes, but I love when although I root for all the players, every time a player gets rewarded, I'm thrilled for them.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you guys for being with us. We'll see you on May 30th. Back here.